talked about this in the past many times, but Patrick Ta actually has a certain method of which he applies the blush. He applies the powder first and then he goes over it, usually with a sponge, and taps on the cream product on top, giving it more of a glow, more of like a skin-like finish. However, I think that it is deceivingly difficult to get that right. So unless, and I've said this before, but unless you're Patrick Ta, you might want to do it the traditional way, which is using the cream first and then setting it and locking it into place with the powder. Grabbing a clean N17 brush, you're gonna use a light fiber side to dip into the cream. Don't just tap in and then tap on your, oops. Like I was saying, don't go directly in. This is the biggest mistake that I see in terms of using this blush. It could go patchy very quick. Okay, so instead I want you to take your brush and you're gonna do the safe thing. You're gonna pre-blend it. Is it more time consuming? Absolutely. Is it what we always wanna do? No, but I'm telling you, it makes such a huge difference. Dirty in our hand, we're wasting some product inevitably. So now we have a beautiful, even application throughout the bristles. It's gonna be evenly applied to your skin. You're not gonna have to work hard to buff it in, and it's just gonna melt nicely on top of your beautifully applied foundation and all those other products you might have in your skin. Now, tip number 2, apply light pressure. Light, barely bending it. This, too much pressure, you're lifting, you're digging, and you're scraping up your foundation underneath, and then you're ending up with that horrible, patchy, muddied mess of a look. Now, I want you to do a little barrier, little swipey swipe of loose powder before you go in. Taking the back side of the N17 that we just used. This has the blush on it still in the front. We're gonna flip to the back. Don't worry about what's on the front. It's not your business. Just worry about what's on the back, which is nothing. So I'm gonna dip in, swipe a little bit of the Kosas like that, and you're just going to intentionally press this in the areas where your blush meets your foundation and your concealer. You'll notice when you layer cream products on top of anything powder or anything that's now set with powder, it's a little line of separation. Even if it's very faint, you still want to just kind of basically take like a magic eraser and erase this little area. In that case, we're just going to use this powder as the eraser and just smooth over that stopping and starting point. Don't worry about the inside, that's okay. It's just this line right here. You don't want that powder to catch and to grip on any wet areas. So same brush, we're gonna now dip into the very pigmented, these are not sheer blushes at all. So you're gonna dip in and look how much is gonna be picked up on the brush. Just like we pre-blended on the top of our hand, you're gonna do the same thing. And now you're gonna get the inside of your hand dirty. This is the best method. And you're gonna pre-blend and buff it into the bristles so it's now evenly distributed. You wanna start small with really pigmented blushes because you can always build up. It's almost impossible to take away a very pigmented blush. Same pressure, and you're gonna just tap, tap, tap. And the beauty of this is it's not clinging to any areas of wet blush. It's not clinging to any areas of separation here. It's just looking nice and even and not patchy.